Hey, it's Kelly from Coffee and My Pen. Today I wanted to walk you through how I'm using this Erin Condren weekly productivity planner for my work planner. Now, due to the sensitivity of my work tasks, I'm not going to show you a filled out real week, but what I'm going to do is show you an example I've made of how I'm using this. So if you haven't seen this particular notebook before, this is the layout. It starts here with a weekly sort of overview page. And you have a page here to the side that gives you a dashboard for your weekly goals, your top priorities, self-care. You have a task list and a blank area. On the next page, we have a habit, task, or routine tracker. And then you have a 2-page, 1-sheet, 2-sided notes page, and then the third notes page that has a to-do list or an action item list on it. And so the way that I have been using these at work has been evolving a little bit, but it's working out very well for the way that I work. So I work in information technology. So some of the terms here they're very vague. I'm referring to Project A, Task B, things like that, but it should give you an idea of how I'm using it. So for the weekly overview, let me zoom in just a little bit. Sorry if you're hearing my dogs, they're playing in the background as usual. I've actually forgotten to draw my lines in here, so let me oh, I can't do it because, well, yes I can. Let me do this. I typically draw lines and subdivide the weekly overview like this because I work Monday through Friday. I only use Monday through Friday in this weekly overview, and I draw lines like this, and then I use Saturday to just point out some big things that might be happening the following week, so they're on my radar and I don't wait until Friday to remember them. And then I even have a next 2 weeks column because sometimes things are coming up, especially project related, that are a few weeks out, and I want to keep them on my mind. So this left column here, I usually reserve for meetings. And the middle column is for important tasks. I won't write everything here, but they're big things that must be done on that specific day. So some things could be done at any point during the week. These are time sensitive, so they go here. And then on this side, these are personal appointments that I just want to have in front of me while I'm at work. Because if I need to do something, if I have to go leave for work for an appointment during the middle of the day, or maybe I even have plans after work, I want to make sure that I'm remembering that in a timely manner. So something that might go on this page for meetings. So I have a Project A review meeting and a one-on-one with my manager. And I don't have any tasks that day or personal appointments that are time sensitive. Tuesday, lucky me, I don't have any meetings or tasks that day. This is not representative of a real work day, by the way. Wednesday, I have a peer review meeting, and I need to prep for an advisory board meeting because I am responsible for facilitating that meeting. So I make sure that on the day before the meeting that I'm going to build in prep time for it. And I do this for any meeting that I'm responsible for. So Thursday is that advisory board meeting. And I have a task that I need to prepare a status update on the project. And then on Fridays, a team meeting and a task to plan next week. I make sure I make time for that on Fridays. And I have a personal appointment at 3 p.m. that I want to remain aware of. So the types of things that I would put next week are not going to be everything. It's not going to be even prepare for meeting or something unless it's just a huge meeting that I'm going to need, a week to prepare for. In this case, we have offsite training scheduled. So I need to know that because that's going to impact the number of hours that I actually have to get tasks done next week. And then 2 weeks out, looks like we have a dinner planned with some vendors who are going to be visiting. So that's the way I use the weekly overview page. I don't decorate this planner at all. I think the color that comes with it is just fine, and I need things to be very clean and simple to keep my mind organized during work. So under the dashboard page, I wouldn't have ordered these boxes in this way, but it's fine. I'm not going to take the trouble to relabel or anything. I would have put the top priorities at the top, but what I do here is, what is my one thing next week that must be done? And I usually just pick one. Sometimes I've had two, but I try to focus on the one. What is the one thing? And in this case, complete task B development. So developing something and for task B. Weekly goals are things that aren't my top priority, but also really need to be done to keep me on track. So I might want to be testing task C and deploying task D, because probably in the previous week, maybe I was developing task C. I don't usually put anything in the self-care box here. I use it for anything that might be special or that might come up that week. For example, maybe we had a potluck at work, or a holiday gift exchange, or maybe it's a team member's birthday or something. I might write that in here. I don't use it very often. Here I just use my to-do list to put in all those to-dos that aren't necessarily time-bound, but they still need to get done. And they're usually relating to this priority and these goals. So I have a prepared task D for advisory board, because I'm supposed to deploy task D this week. So I need to prepare that for the board. And here I have deploy it, the actual task. Right, a test plan for task C goes along with testing it. And then test task C goes along with that. Deploy or present task D to the advisory board, and then deploy task B development. So this is my top priority here, and really I would normally write this at the very top, but task D development, the things I have left for development to consider this complete might be to develop feature E and feature F. So those are the types of things that go here. I have a box here again that's just for next week, where I put the sort of things that I put over here on the other side for next week, but I also put slightly more detailed things that are going to end up in my weekly goals. So if I'm on track and I've tested task C, I'm going to deploy that next week. If I have developed task B, I'll be testing it next week. And then since I've deployed task D, I'm going to be discovering and starting up a new task E. This is just a task overflow page, which I do have to get into sometimes because these in a real week just aren't enough lines. So I move them here. This lined note page I use for taking notes during meetings that usually get typed in at some point. I'll take the important parts and type it into a digital note-keeping system. And then this page might be used for meetings, but typically I end up using it for specifically my one-on-ones with my manager, team members, and my team meeting here. So I'm able to take notes here, or throughout the week if I know that I need to talk to my manager about something but it's not urgent, I'll just jot it down here and we can go over that during my one-on-one or during the team meeting. And then I reserve this for action items that come out of my one-on-one or team meeting. There is an overflow here at the back of the book of notes pages. I haven't had to dig into that just yet, but I'm sure I will. But that is how I use the Erin Condren Weekly Productivity Notebook as my work planner.